Good morning, everyone. Today's April the 16th. A couple of days ago, finally got my fella over with a bucket truck, and it's heavy. It rutted all up out there in my little field. I don't know how in the world I'm going to get it mowed and leveled back out or anything, but I'll get it there. But got 4 trees cut out, so that ought to give me firewood for next year and maybe further. This is my kratom I planted end of March, 1st of April last year, and it did freeze, and you can see where the trunk busted. That's because they are so much water in them, and whenever it freezes, that's what happens. And but you can see all the shoots coming out around the bottom of the base, so it is coming back. It hasn't been watered at all other than what rain we've got, and it really does need some watering. But just so much to get done. And this is one of my mulberries that I have been eating from. This is a never-bearing variety, which I bought 2, and then I had one that came up wild. But you can kind of see it makes some nice berries, and they have a great flavor. And as soon as I get this video loading up, I'm going to take some cuttings and see if I can root them the same way I do the kratom. And I did some figs and some of the kratom this week. I have been trying to keep at it some and do some mowing and try to keep my yard under control, and it's got to where a lot of times I feel like it's a losing battle. This is the red Hawaiian turmeric, and some of it has started showing, and some of the white turmeric. And yeah, I thought I'd seen one earlier this morning, and the canis lilies. So things are coming, and the grass is going crazy, and weeds and all that. And I have just sat whole days and tried to weed things, but they can go faster than I can pull, and I keep trying. Mexicanias and the lantana, lemongrass, I had bought more canis lilies so I would have some other colors other than just the orange, and I traded with some people and got some other gingers and canis lilies and things that whenever I get them multiplied out, I hope I'll be able to share some. This is pots here that I never have gotten around to taking apart this year, and they're no further along than any of the ones that I have taken apart and repotted, replanted new ones. But there's turmeric still in the pot, so like I said, those were left over from last year. Have ginger, my old ginger here, and some galanga down there. I haven't seen any of it coming up. And the walking onions, and there's a lot of them that are putting on the little plants and everything, and that'll bust open directly and be little bubblets. And the miracle fruits, kind of got them moved out now, and took cuttings off of this yesterday. I cut the top off and made 2 cuttings of it. I hope they root. Trying to get that 6th variety of kratoms. I still have these that I can get in boxes and ship, and some of those I have been really, some people told me that if it broke it was okay with them. They just wanted the biggest plants I could get in a box, and so I have been trying to do some of those that normally I would just cut them off and sell as stumps. But I do try to work with people, and I do try to give people what they are asking for. Crown of thorns. I love it during the winter. They bloom all year long once they get started blooming. I'm getting some really good growth on my this is the Rufat H, and I took cuttings off of them this week. I've taken cuttings off of, like I say, I didn't go crazy with it, but I tried to get 40 of most of them. I ran short on this is the green malaise, and I don't think I got but, I don't know, 10 or 20 of them. I don't remember for sure. Sometimes I can't remember my own friggin' name. Remember, on those, for right now, I don't know when I'll end it, but on these in the 3 gallon, 1 gallon, and the older that are too big to ship, on pickup orders it's 70 or 25% off. This is some more of the galanga and a few coming up. I have the over here the green turmeric that I had just got this year, and haven't seen any of it sprouting yet. These curry flowers smell so good. Have the black turmeric in here. Have a few nice gardenias. My rosemary and the garlic chives. And this was more the white turmeric. I hadn't seen any of it coming up. And I have the camphor tree, and that one is a Chinese tallow, American beautyberry bush. And I keep reusing the soil whenever I dig ginger, and I try not to use the same soil for ginger 2 years in a row, because it can encourage some kind of little maggot. It's kind of like with onions. There's an onion magnet, and so maggot, not magnet. And anyway, so I try not to use the same soil. And this year, though, I did not reuse, but it did end up with some garlic corms, corme, corms. And so anyway, I got some wild garlic coming up in my ginger. But the ginger is coming up. It's got the best showing on it of about any of them. And here is this is a new ginger that I had gotten, and it's finally sprouting. I've got several that I had bought that haven't sprouted yet. And the pregnant onions, and some of them are sure enough pregnant. Still got some ginger and turmeric and galanga and stuff in the house that I haven't gotten potted and haven't sold. These are some of the others. I'm really tickled to see just how this one does. That's beautiful foliage. but I wanted to see some flowers of other kinds, and so that was part of what I was doing and trading for and buying. This is a wild mulberry, and it bears really well, but usually it puts them on and then we'll have a frost late in the year and I don't get any berries. But this year the frost that we did have didn't bite it too bad, and so I am going to try to take some cuttings and see if I can get them rooted and have one of my moringa coming back from the stump. So that'll be, I don't remember if it's 4 or 5 years now, but a lot of the tree, most of them, I just spotted that one coming back there, but there's a little worm type thing that bores into the tree, and that's what all that powder down there is where he bore in. And the only thing I found that'll kill him is an oil spray that I'm just not really fond of. If it had been some other tree, I may have done it out in the yard somewhere. And that's a piece of a vine of one of the beetle leaf that was growing from last year out here in the yard, and I hadn't noticed there was so much of it. And we got down to 24 or 23 this year, so that's just something, a curiosity. I hadn't, like I said, I hadn't realized it was that much of it was alive. And I'm gonna try to air layer some of these other figs. Last I counted last year, I think it was 17 varieties that I still had out of 23 that I'd gotten up to at one time. Needless to say, I do love figs. Blessings, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Wash your hands. Please wear a mask.